Given the more aggressive antitrust enforcement environment these days, it is important for companies to consider risk shifting provisions when negotiating deal terms. And what this does, it provides the buyer with flexibility in the event that the government has challenges or questions about the transaction. And for the seller, it provides them with assurances that the buyer will remain committed to the deal in the event that the government has concerns about the transaction. But it's really hard to predict in the current environment how agencies are going to review each transaction. And that's because their priorities are shifting. That's because their receptiveness to remedies are evolving, and their view of competitive effects is broadening.
The agencies are expanding enforcement across a range of new issues, which means emerging companies should be thinking about managing risk more broadly than in the past. Traditionally, most investigations would focus on whether emerging firms were horizontal competitors and whether the merger would affect price, output, and quality. While price, output, and quality are still key factors, the antitrust agencies are considering other issues like hard to innovation and R&D, pursuing vertical theories such as input foreclosure, looking for harm on the supply side, including labor markets, and looking at whether there's harm to nascent competition. That means companies considering a deal should factor in a broader range of potential issues in assessing risk, and importantly, negotiating allocation of that risk in the transaction agreement.
Well, the antitrust agencies released the new proposed draft merger guidelines in July. And the guidelines certainly reflect the very aggressive enforcement posture that the agencies have taken over the past couple of years. The guidelines include theories of harm that are based on not just horizontal mergers between competitors, but vertical mergers between companies at different levels of the supply chain, mergers between potential competitors, mergers that may affect workers rather than consumers, even conglomerate mergers, mergers involving products that do not compete but that could be bundled. And there's a lot of focus on mergers involving platforms and mergers involving so-called dominant firms. With the agencies focusing on such a wide array of different issues, figuring out if your deal will have antitrust issues is now a lot more involved than just identifying overlapping products and calculating shares.